Welcome in, everyone. Let's take a deep breath in. Let your shoulders drop, soften your heart, and unclench your jaw. This is a space for curiosity, for honesty, and for healing. You don't have to agree with everything here. You don't have to have it all figured out. You only have to be willing to listen, to wonder, and to stay open. Let this be your invitation to explore your story, to examine what has shaped you, and to make space for something new. This is not about answers. It's about deeper questions, softer hearts, and the kind of truth that liberates. I'm Christina Baker, and this is the Retreat Full Circle podcast. Welcome back to the Retreat Full Circle podcast. If you're new here, I'm really glad you found us. At Full Circle, we create space, real space, for women to slow down, breathe, and remember who they are beneath the noise of everyday life. Beyond this podcast, we host intimate, nature-based retreats here on the Nature Coast of Florida. Our weekends are built around rest, reflection, creativity, nourishing food, time outdoors, and genuine connection. Not fixing yourself, not becoming someone new, but gently returning to yourself. After nearly 2 years of hosting retreats, my wife Kim and I started to notice something. Certain elements kept rising to the surface. The practices that truly helped women feel safe in their bodies, supported in their nervous systems, and deeply at home in the experience. From that clarity, our seasonal retreat series was born. A rhythm of gatherings that mirror nature itself. Rest in winter, renewal in spring, expansion in summer, and integration in autumn. And that brings me to today's conversation. At the heart of this new series is our resident hostess, Victoria, or as most of us call her, Vicki Millward. Vicki is one of those rare people whose presence alone changes the energy of a room. She has been guiding yoga and intentional movement for over 13 years, and her approach is deeply grounded, trauma-informed, and profoundly human. Vicki is also a licensed massage therapist and body worker, which means she understands the body, not just as something that moves, but as something that holds stories, experiences, and wisdom. Everything she leads, from sunrise yoga flows to quiet moments around the fire, is infused with safety, compassion, and an invitation to soften. We wanted to bring Vicki onto the podcast so you could get to know her the same way our retreat guests do, slowly, authentically, and without pressure. Because when you come to Full Circle, it's not about the schedule or the itinerary. It's about the people holding the space. So today's conversation is a chance to hear Vicki's story, her philosophy, and the heart behind the work she brings to our retreats. My hope is that by the end of this episode, you'll feel like you've already met her, and maybe even feel a little more at home yourself. So please join me and welcome Victoria Millward to the Retreat Full Circle podcast.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm so happy to be here on this freezing cold Florida day.
It is ridiculously cold. As a native Floridian, when it dips down into the 20s, that is unacceptable.
Oh,
Yeah.
Not what I moved here for.
No,
for sure.
no. All right. Well, that's a really good start.
Mhm.
So let's get going on who you are, how you got here, what you do, what's your passions, and how we're going to be working together. So where did you come from?
I came from the good old Garden State, New Jersey. I was born and raised there, and I moved from Philadelphia to Floral City. So from a big town to the smallest town that you have, and did that move about 2.5 years ago.
Okay. Floral City is super cute. So in relation to Orlando,
Like an hour and 20 minutes, an hour from Tampa, an hour and a half from Gainesville. So lots of airports, lots of things to do around the area, but it's its own little bubble because there's not much going on. And about 15 minutes from Inverness. So that's sort of my hub.
Yeah.
Like I never thought I'd say that I'd have to like go into town for groceries.
to Inverness.
To Inverness, the bustling city of Inverness.
I think the population I looked the last time in Inverness is 7,000. So that gives you an idea. I don't know what the population of Floral City is, but
I think it's like 4,000 or 5,000 in Floral City.
Yeah, it's pretty small, but it's super cute. And lots of lake stuff there.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a big boating community and airboats and all that good stuff. So.
Yeah, when we said we wanted to move to a small town, we were like, we want to be able to go to a coffee shop where someone knows our order every time we walk in the door.
Yes.
So we sort of got that.
Okay, sort of.
Yeah. I make my own coffee. So.
They always know my name and they know exactly what I want in it. It's perfect there.
The idea. That's the idea.
All right. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we connected. And I'd like to talk a little bit about how we did connect. And you reached out, I think, via email and said that you were a yoga instructor and a massage therapist.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, we were building our business and looking for those two people, and to get them in one, that was like a bonus. So we decided to have you in and have a conversation. And wow, I think we sat on the couch for the next couple hours and just talked about life and all the things. Is that how you recall?
That's how I recall it.
Okay.
And then animals, you know.
I mean,
the tour of the farm came later.
Yes, yes. So in our conversation, I quickly felt like Victoria was on the same wavelength, and we were getting the same vibes, and we immediately connected. And I wanted her to be a part of things here at Full Circle, but I wasn't exactly sure where she was going to fit in. So we talked about a few things from the beginning, and we tried to do like... we were going to do some yoga classes here. We talked about that at one point, and I was looking at our schedule and then looking at, things that were about town in Inverness and things already going on. And I wanted to be mindful of, what our mission, what our purpose is here, and also being respectful of what was already established in the community. And so I sat with it for a few weeks, and that just didn't end up feeling right for our space. So, gave it a little bit more time. And then I started, I think, seeing you as a massage therapist.
Mm-hmm.
And so we chit chat throughout those times and just, again, kind of building the relationship and getting to know each other. And through that process, we had been a little more and more established in the retreat business. By that point, we were, about maybe 30 or so retreats under our belts. And we were starting to see things that really felt authentic to my wife and I as far as offerings here. And then a lot of our friends were starting to take note of what we were doing here. We moved up here from Pinellas County, and so, as time goes on and they're seeing more and more things offered, our friends are like, hey, we want to come up to a retreat. And the way that we run things here is it's almost like an Airbnb for retreat hosts, right? We rent the space out, and that retreat host comes in and brings their community in. And we kind of are players behind the scenes, right? We fill in the gaps where they need it. If they need a fire lid, or they need us to run a floating sound bath, or help out with food, or whatever, we just kind of plug in. But we're not running the retreats here. And that became kind of a need, because now we've got all these friends that want to come and spend time with us, but we were never a part of things. So we came up with the idea of these seasonal retreats where we picked and chose all of our favorite offerings, forest bathing and sound baths and massage and yoga and all of those things. And we kind of handpicked our favorite people that we've worked with. And I say that it's going to seem kind of partial, because there's so many great people that have walked through our doors here, and we've seen so many unique offerings. So it was not an easy pick, and I imagine in the future that we may kind of involve other people at different times. But for now, we really felt like, Victoria, you were a great fit to kind of host these seasonal retreats. Number one, because in our initial conversation, that was one of the things that was on your heart, to host retreats. Number two, your energy, your background, all of the things that you are educated in and aware of, and the care that you give, and just everything that you offer and everything that you are just seemed like such a great fit to plug in here. And so that's kind of why we're doing this podcast today, is to give our listeners, our retreat community, an introduction to who you are. So I want to talk about how you got into both yoga and massage. So first question is, which one came first?
Wow. Well, thank you for all of those kind words, first of all. Secondly, I couldn't agree more. I think that this relationship between myself and you and Full Circle Retreats just really unfolded very organically. And for me, in coming, both of us really being in this new area, for me, oftentimes I want things to happen right away, know? And so allowing things to go at the pace that they did between us to get to this point of being able to do these retreats, it never once felt like forced. So for me, that's why this feels so much better, because it just really naturally unfolded into what we're creating. And as far as yoga and massage, what came first, the chicken or the egg? It's interesting. During college, I realized I'm never working behind a desk. I had that very clear moment. I remember telling my father, and he was like, well, what are you going to do? And then after college, I became a camp counselor, a sleepaway camp counselor.
Ooh.
And it was at a teen camp. Some of you may know the Omega Institute in upstate New York. It's like a yoga retreat center. And it was their teen camp. So it was a bunch of really progressive, hippie moms and dads that wanted their kids to experience summer camp life. And we got to choose what we wanted to teach them. There was lots of yoga and ecstatic dance and how to poop in the woods, literally anything that sparked interest for the counselors. They used that as a gift to bring these children. And so that was my first time. I never even went to camp as a child. So then to go to camp as an adult, whoa, that was the coolest thing ever. So that was my first experience in community around super hippie people. And there I saw a woman teach a Thai massage workshop to teenagers. And it sparked my interest. And I remember taking my disposable camera and taking all these snapshots of the poses that she was teaching. And I was like, what is this? How can I do this? I don't know what this is, but it was like logged in my memory bank. And then I just like let it go. And then the following year, I decided to go back to that summer camp. And I was like, I need to be able to offer something more to these kids. So I had found a yoga studio in the interim, and that studio ended up changing my entire life. And I took a training there, and then I went back to the summer camp the following year to teach the kids yoga. So what came first? The initial spark was massage, but then I sort of went down the trail of yoga for the next, like, I want to say 13 years, really.
Wow.
Before I reintroduced or even thought about hands-on, like, massage work.
Okay, so after the summer camp experience and the yoga training, how did you get your education, like, aside from yoga? I guess specifically I'm curious about how the trauma-informed education played in.
Yeah, so that came a little later on. I guess I decided at that point that, like, I want this to be my career. So as you know, any type of, like, long-term relationship that you have, marriages, careers, friendships, like, there's a lot of, like, life, death, rebirth type of cycles that happen. In this particular case, like, a lot of things like piqued my interest, and I would take a training, and then I would either integrate them and use them, or just, not. So, and about every 2 years, really, in the yoga world as well as the massage world, you have to have continuing education credits. So there you then get to, like, again, like, pick and choose what is interesting to you.
So there's like a bank of credits or whatever that you can. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And in terms of yoga, yeah, I've went down a lot of different styles of yoga that I enjoyed doing. I really, really am still interested in teaching kids yoga. That's like a major passion of mine. And probably about 7 years ago, I started doing trauma-informed yoga. So I started working for this nonprofit that doesn't exist anymore, that they taught trauma-informed yoga. And I took a couple trainings. I worked for the organization for a while. And that sort of, there were other things that happened in my career that I realized, looking through the lens that potentially everyone is carrying something, and you don't know what they're carrying. So in some yoga teacher trainings, like, they're like, okay, you go up to behind a person and you adjust their hips. Or at the end of class, they're relaxing in Shavasana and you press on their shoulders with essential oils. And there's no conversation really about, well, what if someone wants to opt out of that? What if they're carrying something? What if they what if they're allergic to the oils? Right. Yeah, what if they don't feel right being approached from behind or touched without consent? So there were little things during my initial yoga career that I experienced that sort of illuminated these things to me, like, oh, if I'm here to be creating a safe space for people, if I'm not giving people
a safe space,
exactly, if I'm not giving them the option to, not want to do certain things, then, like, is that really creating a super safe space for them? And, like, even in terms of even not hands-on touching, but, like, if you're leading a yoga class and you're like, you're going to do this pose, how about let's give them options? What if you just had a knee replacement? What if you don't feel good that day? Like, So the conversation and consent became a really big awakening moment for me.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into that.
So good. And I mean, it seems like that should be common sense.
Yeah.
But not.
Right.
And then how does that, like in the massage arena, I mean, I can't even imagine that's a whole way deeper level on trauma-informed massage. I assume there is a thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So, so I did a little work, like I said, with that one organization. And then coincidentally, I met my now husband, and he's a combat veteran. So, and he had a nonprofit that educated and advocated for veterans seeking alternative therapies. And so I started working with him and his organization to introduce yoga and breath work and mindfulness and all of these things to the veteran space. And veterans have a whole gamut of other things that could be triggering to them that maybe the average person wouldn't.
Yeah.
Right. So then I did a training specifically for veterans and first responders for yoga. And it was things as simple that, like, again, as a regular yoga teacher, you would never think.
Right.
But then if you wanted to work with special populations, you had to be mindful of, like, veterans don't usually like their backs turned towards the door. So then, like, you have to position yourself as the yoga teacher in a place where they can see the door.
Yeah.
Right. Certain chimes and bells and things like that. Like, they could have tinnitus from, like, bombs going off or whatever the case may be. So, like, being mindful of the songs you're playing, the tones you're playing.
Right.
And so again, what's tricky is you can't protect everyone. You, as a yoga teacher, as a massage therapist, as a retreat owner, space holder, can't protect everyone from everything that might be triggering to them.
Right.
Because that's nearly impossible, because you don't know. But to me, what trauma-informed means is, one, you're educated in what trauma is, how it can manifest in the body, and then really being sensitive to that for someone else. Not being like, oh no, it's okay, don't worry.
Just push through.
It. It's okay. Stop crying. Stop freaking out.
Yeah.
Like, it's validating their experience and then creating this safe space for them to experience the full spectrum of emotions that's happening for them.
Wow. And I think this joins really together so beautifully with your natural personality.
Thanks.
And it's so cool to watch people living their passion, right? I don't think there's anything more inspiring, and there's nothing more fun in simplistic terms to work with people who are working and living out their passions. So again, that's another reason why I think you're going to be such an excellent host here at Full Circle. So talk about a little bit, if you will, about when you started feeling the nudge to host retreats.
To be honest, that nudge, to me, as a yoga teacher, that's like it. That's the pinnacle.
Really?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, so I got my first yoga training back in 2012. And so it's been, what is that? Almost 13 years about. And like, wow, it has been on my heart that whole time.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I've gone on retreats and like, you see the Instagram worthy women in white dresses in a circle on a beach doing yoga.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And so it has been, like I said, on my heart and on my on my mind for this entire time. And it sort of feels like that's when I feel like I'll have made it.
Yeah.
Is when I get to like host a retreat.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Have you thought about like your ultimate goal, or maybe not ultimate goal, but or do you have multiple goals for the retreats that you're hosting here at Full Circle? Like, what do you talk about what that looks like?
So I've been thinking about this since we initially talked about it, and tying back to what brought me into this world initially, this hippie summer camp, right? I'm like, wow, like kids get to do this, but adults should really get to do this, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's almost what I want to create, like this adult summer camp that's like a little weekend getaway to reset from everyday life, to be in a community of people, to explore new, unusual, different, sometimes familiar activities, to do crafts, to eat meals together, cook meals together, to sing songs around a bonfire.
Yeah.
Like to be in nature with one another. To be a part of this like little micro community for a weekend. I think that is so nourishing to the soul. And unless you truly do that intentionally, I don't think as adults we really ever get that opportunity to do that ever again.
Yeah, and I'm really excited just on a personal note too. Not only have we put together our favorite activities and things, but like to just honor the season that each retreat is in. So we're offering these 4 times a year, and each retreat is going to be, equally paced with downtime and activities, with cooking classes and forest bathing and time in the salt cave and time for arts and crafts and time to sit around the pool and time to hike and do all the things, play with the animals here. We're up to 4 horses. We currently have 6 goats, but little Emily is preggers, and any day now she's going to have little kids running around. We've got free-range chickens, just, all of this stuff to enjoy here and to just take time out, take that pause. And I envision some people will come, for their favorite season. Like, fall is really my jam. That's my favorite time of year. And obviously everybody's different. Maybe winter is your jam, or summer or spring. But each one of these seasonal reset retreats is going to be that season themed and activities and food and mindful offerings from Victoria. It is that time out. And I can see people maybe doing this 4 times a year. Like they're taking that weekend. It's a Friday noon to Sunday noon. Like it's not a lot of time out, but it does give you that time to rest and reset and get back to who you are and reset your body clock and all of those things. So I'm super excited about that. And I think since we're kind of touching on the trauma-informed topic, that you don't have to participate in everything we do. If cooking's not your jam, go hang out with the horses or go on a hike, or, even the yoga. If you don't want to do yoga, you don't have to do yoga. Like this is a getaway. This is a reset for you. It's plug in where you want to plug in. So the main things that go on as a part of the retreat center here, the retreat venue, what I feel like my gifts are and my passion is being a space creator and a space holder. And so this place operates at peak when I stay in that lane. I have noticed when I try to venture out of that lane, things don't go as smoothly. I'm somebody who is like a jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing, and I feel like because I have been gifted with a lot of abilities. I can do a lot of things. I can go in a lot of directions. But specifically being in this space for coming on 3 years now, it really does operate best when I allow other people to step in and provide their gifts. So during these seasonal retreats, I will be creating the space and holding the space. And then for these, I get to participate. You know, I'm excited. I'm taking a breather on these. And that's where you're stepping in. And how do you see your fit in that?
Well, I love that because I'm like the opposite. I love holding space, yes. But like the things that you excel in, like your Virgo mind, your analytical mind, and making sure everything is just so. Like I'm a Libra. I'm airy. I'm just like a type B type of person. Go with the flow, feel what needs to happen when it needs to happen type of thing. So, and that to me also is holding space. So we have almost like two sides of the same coin in what our definitions are of that. But both are so equally important. So like you are holding the structure, the container. And then like I can read people's energy and see what the flow of what people are wanting to do, or if this person wants to sit out, or if we're not feeling yoga today. Yeah. And like pick up on that and use my sort of malleable air-like energy to shift and create what is happening inside of the container that you set for us.
Yeah, and we've had several, meetings about what these retreats are, going to look like. And we've intentionally kept them small.
And simple.
Small, simple, plenty of time to plug in if you want to, or just chill out if that's all you want to do, and that's totally fine. The food is going to be incredible. Chef Hillary Hepp will be joining us, and she is the chef that's been here the most. Her passion is nourishing people on retreat. I mean, I don't know how much more niche you can get than that, but she is so skilled and so sensitive to the needs of everyone that I'm just so excited. She mainly cooks vegan, and I'm not vegan, but I become vegan when she's here. So that's how good it is. And Hillary can make any kind of adaptations for your dietary needs. And she is very accommodating, will do so. Even if it's just hey, I really don't like green peppers. She will make a meal specifically for you for that. Well, this has been such a great day. I'm so excited we were able to sit down together, and I'm so happy to be back in the interviewing chair. I have missed this side of podcasting. Thank you all for listening. If you've made it this far, we greatly appreciate you. And I guess one last thing is, Victoria, if somebody's local, they want to connect with you, or they have any questions on these seasonal retreats, how would they get in touch with you best?
So definitely you can reach out to me via email, victoria@inneralchemybodywork.com. That's my business name. Facebook, Instagram, Inner Alchemy Bodywork, INNERALCHEMY, Bodywork, one word, inneralchemybodywork.com. All my emails, phone numbers, all of that is accessible on my website if you want to book an appointment with me. My studio is located in downtown Inverness.
Yeah, and you are accepting new patients? Okay, or clients? You call them clients? Patients,
that's
clients?
been a new thing for me.
Okay. You're accepting new people.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay. And her space is so cute, you guys. I love it. I love going. It's such a treat to be in there. She has talk about creating space. It's a cute little spot, and it's very just relaxing. I walk in the door and take a deep breath. So it's nice. And not to mention, she's a very, very skilled massage therapist. And if you're local, please do check her out. All right. Thank you. It was wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. All right. We'll see you soon. If something you heard today stirred you, comforted you, challenged you, or simply made you feel less alone, I'm deeply grateful that you're here. And if you feel a gentle nudge to share this episode with someone who might need it, please trust that nudge. If you'd like to be notified when inspiration strikes again, you're welcome to like, share, and subscribe, but only if and when it feels right for you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your curiosity. And thank you for walking this path with me. Until the next unfolding, stay curious and trust your inner compass.